I'ma swear I'ma do it like I never had it at like I never had it at like I never had it at hey, okay now.
Hey foodies, welcome to Food It Forward and welcome to our last webisode of 2011. So we are going all out and going out big this year. You know, New Year's usually starts a time of resolutions, a lot of people trying to lose weight, quit smoking, whatever the case may be. So we figure, last hoorah, why not go big? Today we're going to do a ribeye steak with a bordelaise sauce served over Yukon Gold garlic mashed potatoes. Yeah, so it's going to be one good last meal, especially if your resolution is to kind of cut back and go a little bit healthier. So let's kind of go over our ingredients today. What I have here, the star of the show is a prime ribeye steak. And I like ribeyes mainly because of the flavor that you get with the marbleization of the fat in the meat. So I know a lot of people say, oh, I love filet mignon, and I like filet mignons too. They're nice and tender, but when it comes to flavor, to me, nothing beats a ribeye. So we have the ribeye here. We have one shallot that I've sliced up. I have some beef broth here, some chopped up parsley, and a dry red wine for the bordelaise sauce that we're going to do. I'm using a Cabernet Sauvignon, but you can use any dry red wine that you have on hand. The thing with the wine, when you're cooking with wine, always use something that you're actually going to drink. Don't buy that store-bought cooking wine, because you're really not going to get the same type of intense flavor as you would with the real thing. Now for our potatoes, I have some Yukon Gold potatoes here. I like the Yukon Golds. They're a little bit more rich in flavor, and they're a good waxy potato. I have cut them in half and semi-peeled them. And what I mean by semi-peeled is I've basically just taken some of the blemishes out, the different eyes of the potato out, because I like to keep the skin on there. That's where you're going to find the nutrients of the potato, and so I like to keep that on there. If you don't like that texture that the skin provides, go ahead and peel your potato all the way throughout. And then with the potatoes, we're going to add some garlic. So we have that garlic mashed potato. We'll have some butter with that and heavy cream. Yeah, I know it's a lot. It's a lot. But again, it's New Year's Eve. You can be healthy, eat a salad on New Year's Day, right? So what we're going to do first, we're going to go ahead and sear off our steaks, get a good caramelization on that. Let me turn on our pan here. Let's get this nice and hot. And then you'll see what that looks like when we come back. Okay, foodies, so here I have my pan all heated up. I coated just a little bit of olive oil just to coat the bottom of the pan, and I don't know if you can see it there, but this is the oil's about smoking. I'm about to grab my ribeye here, and you want that smoking to give it that nice caramelized side there. So we're going to go ahead and place this down, and you'll hear that sizzle. As you see the steaks going here, very important thing when you're dealing with a hot skillet, place the meat away from you like this so you don't have any splatter. And we're going to sear this on one side, probably give it about 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll turn it over and then finish it to our doneness. Now with the potatoes here, one of the secret ingredients that I use is chicken broth. That's how I'm going to boil off our potatoes. So I'm using a pressure cooker today, but if you want to use just a regular pot with water, just boil the potatoes until they're fork tender. And the easiest way to do that is to cut it into smaller pieces so it cooks a little bit faster. All right, so I turned the steak over, and I'm adding some butter to it. This is going to give it a lot of rich flavor. I have our potatoes going on over here. I added that garlic clove. And I'm going to cook this to about medium doneness. I like to do the touch technique, but I recommend getting an instant read thermometer. So if you're really unsure about your meat temperatures or how to cook it. So I'm going to go ahead and let this cook, and then I'll take it off, and we'll create the sauce here in a second. All right, so you see that firmness there? This steak is just about medium rare how I want it, so I'm going to go ahead and take it off. I'm going to let this rest. It's very important that you let your meat rest. Don't cut right into it or the juices are going to run. So I'm about to add the shallots now to this pan. And we're going to cook these shallots down, and then you'll see how I deglaze this here in a second. All right, you see our shallots here are almost caramelized. They're looking good. I wish you guys had smell-o-vision. It would smell great right now. You see our pressure cooker is going for our mashed potatoes. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and deglaze the pan with the red wine. And we're going to do about half a cup or so. So I'm just going to eyeball it. And you'll see there, as that's going, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my whisk. So as you see, all those bottom bits, they're all gone now. And that's going to add another layer of flavor to our bordelaise sauce. So I'm going to let this kind of cook for another minute or so. And then I'm going to add our beef broth and let this reduce down to the thickness of the sauce how we like it. So I added our beef broth. Just going to stir this up, get this back up to a boil. And then I'm going to let this simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes until I get the right consistency for the sauce that we're looking for. Alright, so here we have our potatoes. And as you see, this is what I mean by fork tender. See how easily it comes in and out of there? So now what you can do, I had those garlic cloves. If you want, you can remove that, you know, because the garlic's already infused its flavor. I like to keep it in. It's tender enough where it'll just smash right in and you can't even tell a texture difference between the potato and the garlic. Just gives it a little bit more flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and drain these and you'll see what I do next. Alright, so oops, got a little steam there. So I drained the potatoes, but what I like to do is I like to put it back on the stove on high heat because there's going to be excess liquid there that you don't want in your mashed potatoes. That's how you get the runny mashed potatoes. So I'm going to put it on high heat and you're going to hear it sizzle and that extra liquid is going to evaporate away, and then we'll add our heavy cream, butter, salt, and pepper to give it this final touches for these Yukon Gold mashed potatoes. Alright, so all that excess liquid has gotten out of there. So I'm going to add our heavy cream next. And yes, this is an indulgence. You can use milk if you want, but I like the flavor of the heavy cream. And you can just eyeball it, you know, take a little bit at a time to get the consistency that you want. I'm going to add some butter in this as well. And then we'll salt and pepper to taste. And we should be all good to go with this. Alright, so here we are at our bordelaise sauce. Our sauce is just about reduced to the right consistency. Now what we're going to do, we're going to add little bits of butter at a time to this, okay? And the important thing is the little bits at a time. It's going to give it a nice glossy look and another depth of flavor, a little bit more richness to it. So again, little bit at a time for the butter. Don't put it all in there at once or you're not going to get the same effect. And then when we get back, I'll show you how it looks like when we plate. Alright foodies, here we are, the finished product. I don't want to spill the sauce there. Our ribeye with the bordelaise sauce served with our Yukon Gold garlic mashed potatoes. Again guys, this is not for the waist conscious, but you can worry about that New Year's Day. New Year's Eve, it's all about indulgences, and I think this is definitely an indulgence of a meal. So make this for you and your family, your friends. Really celebrate the last part of the year here. And I want to thank everybody for all the support for the past 5 months, and all the subscribers, the fans, the viewers, everybody who's had a part in Food It Forward. We look forward to taking it to the next level, leveling up for 2012. So stay tuned. Make sure you're checking out the site, food-it-forward.com, and also our YouTube channel, youtube.com/fooditforward. Until next year, foodies, enjoy this, and if you like it, food it forward. Take care.